Welcome to the class again. We are just discussing how to explore boron reductions followed by carbon monoxide additions. So in the previous class, we have come up to the this three-member ring, right? Then if we don't apply any temperature, so this is the end point of the mechanism. Okay, then what we are adding water. So when we add water, the three-membered ring will break down. Okay, so OH will add to boron, H will add to oxygen. So the three-membered ring will break down when we add water. So it generates OH here, R, similarly OH here. Then when we do oxidize it using hydrogen peroxide and sodium hydroxide, so we are going to add one more OH group here, right? So this boron will be leaving, so I don't write that. What we are going to have is one more OH. So these alkyl groups are already there. These alkyl groups are already there. Because of the oxidation, we are now getting one more alcohol. Because it is a diol is unstable. Okay, two hydroxy groups on same carbon, they are unstable. So immediately with loss of water, it will be converted to a carbonide. Okay, so that means when we don't apply any temperature, then carbon monoxide addition will lead to a ketone. Okay, the alkenes will be migrating to the carbonyl carbon. The both alkenes, they will be migrating to the carbonyl carbon. Okay, when we apply high temperatures like 150 degrees centigrade, what happens at high temperatures, the mechanism will not stop here. The third alkyl group will also undergo migration from boron to carbon. Okay, at very high temperatures, third alkyl group will also undergo migration. So we will break this carbon oxygen bond, so we will generate a boron oxygen double bond. So for simplicity, I'll just write R groups. Okay, when we oxidize it, what we are getting an alcohol. So this is how we can explore boron reductions followed by carbon monoxide addition. when we add carbon monoxide without temperatures, two alkyl groups can be migrated to carbon, so we will get ketone. If we do the reaction at very high temperatures, then all the three alkyl groups from boron will be migrated to carbon monoxide carbon, so that it will be a tertiary alcohol. Now I will give some more examples on this collective chemistry, so that you will appreciate the problems even better now. If we use the ethyl borane here, because there are two alkenes, there are two different separate alkenes, so the two hydrates can be transferred to the borane, sorry, to the alkenes. So the product here is it is borane. Now the question is, what about this ring fusion, whether it is a cis ring fusion or a trans ring fusion? You know, boron addition is a syn addition. That means the boron here and the hydrogen here, they will be in the same plane. Say for example, if it is below the plane, the hydrogen here also must be below the plane. So I'll write this below the plane, the boron also below the plane. When the boron is below the plane, what about the hydrogen here? It must be above the plane, right? Here one hydrogen will be there because it is only 3 bonds. There are 3 bonds to this carbon. The fourth one is hydrogen. So when boron is approaching this alkene from below the plane, the hydrogen which is already placed on the double bond now will occupy above the plane. So the ring fusion here, it must be trans. Okay, so I'll repeat this. Boron adds to this alkene in syn fashion. So that means, for example, if this hydrogen and boron both are approaching this alkene from below the plane, then the hydrogen which is already there, it will now move to above the plane. Okay, so that is why the hydrogen and boron both are in same plane. The hydrogen here will be in opposite plane. So the ring fusion is trans. Then when we further explore this by carbon monoxide 70 atmospheres, water, then followed by hydrogen peroxide and sodium hydroxide. So I did tell you that when we add carbon monoxide, the two of the alkyl groups from boron will be shifted to carbon monoxide carbon. Now which alkyl groups will be migrating? So it is purely depends on the sterical crowding of the directly attached carbons. This carbon, it is a primary carbon, right? It is attached to only one other carbon. This carbon, it is a secondary carbon. It is attached to only two other carbons. This carbon, it is a tertiary carbon. It is attached to three other carbons. So primary, secondary are easy to migrate compared to tertiary. Okay. So that is why here both this carbon and this carbon will be migrating to carbon monoxide carbon. When we do oxidize this, then the boron will also be leaving. So what we will get is a carbonate. So the product here is it is the carbonate. Hydrogen below the plane, hydrogen above the plane. Or in simple, we can imagine that uh, a carbon is forming a bond with this carbon and it is becoming carbonate. Okay, because here only two alkyl groups are migrating, we will get ketone. So when you look at the overall reaction, the carbon monoxide is forming bonds with this carbon and this carbon. I'll give two more examples on this reactivity for better practice. I think I'll leave these problems to you. So you practice the solutions and you post in the group. In the above problem, both the alkenes are intramolecular, but here this is two different alkenes. We are adding two different alkenes. So what is the product here? And then when we do carbon monoxide addition, 70 atmospheres, water, followed by hydrogen peroxide, sodium hydroxide oxidation, what is the product here? So here also we can differentiate these two. See here it is a terminal alkene, it is an internal alkene. So terminal alkene first adds to the borane, then secondary alkene. I think it must be the reverse way. Okay. First we will add secondary alkene. Okay. Then terminal alkene. Because terminal alkenes are having less sterical crowding around the double bond, so they can be easily added to borane. So that is why they are always added in the last. Okay. So already one alkyl group is there. Now we will add a secondary alkene. So it is having a little bit more sterical crowded compared to this, right? Now this will add to borane. Then this terminal alkene, this can be added to borane. So the order is that first we must add high sterical crowding alkene, then less sterical crowding alkene, then still less sterical crowding alkene. If you come in a reverse way, what happens? First less sterical, then more sterical, then more sterical. It is not possible because this is more sterically crowded. So it is not possible to add this type of alkenes in the end. Okay. So for adding to borane, we must use first high sterical crowding alkene, then less sterical crowding, and then still less sterical crowding. So you write the products, okay? I will answer them. So here you can clearly see this. First we are adding this alkene because it is more sterically crowded. Out of these two, this is terminal alkene. So this alkene will add to the, borane will reduce this alkene. Then we will add this, okay? If we do it in a reverse fashion, that means first we add this and next this, it may not add to the borane, okay? So for that, first we must add high sterical crowding, then less sterical crowding, then still less sterical crowding. Then only we can reduce the alkenes, otherwise it is not possible. So you write the intermediate and then the same reagent. So the product is called juvabinone. So when we are adding to borane, it should be first high sterical crowded alkene, then next less sterical, then next still less sterical crowding. But when it comes to alkyl migration, it is the reverse fashion. First, less sterically crowded alkyl group will migrate. Okay. If we are increasing sterical crowding, then alkyl migration will be little bit slower. So when we want to add, we must add high sterical crowded first, then less sterical, then less. But in case of shifting from borane to carbon or to oxygen, it will be the reverse way. less sterically crowded alkyl group will migrate first, so then more sterically crowded alkyl group. Next reagent is 9-BBN. 9-BBN is more sterically crowded compared to even thexyl borane. So it is possible to easily differentiate an internal functional group and a terminal functional group. Okay, it is not the triple bond or double bond. Here it is the internal functional group and terminal functional group. Because it is so crowded, 9BBN will easily approach the terminal functional group over an internal functional group. So when we reduce it with 9BBN, only the terminal double bond, this double bond will undergo reduction. 1, 2, 3. So it is not the triple bond or double bond, it is the terminal functional group which will react with 9BBN than the internal functional group. Okay, because 9BBN is so crowded, it is not possible for 9BBN to approach an internal functional group. Internal functional group means it is already sterically crowded, whereas terminal functional group, it is less sterically crowded. You can write these products. If we add H2O2 NaOH, or if we use acetic acid, what are the products? You write these products. Please take a snapshot. I'm going to change this page. Okay. When we add 9BBN to this alkene, we will get so this is a shortcut representation, right? Then when we do oxidize the treat this fellow with carbon monoxide at 180 degrees centigrade and treat with sodium hydroxide and hydrogen peroxide, because we are using very high temperatures, here all the alkyl groups will shift to carbonyl carbon. Because we are using high temperatures, all these three alkyl groups, they will shift to carbonyl carbon. So the product is here it is a boron, but because these two alkyl groups are also migrating to carbonyl carbon, it will be the carbon from carbonyl, and the three alkyl groups are migrating, so here we will get only alcohol, not carbonyl. Okay, if we don't use high temperatures, then it is possible to shift one or two alkyl groups based on the sterical crowding, but we are using very high temperatures, so it is possible to shift all the three alkyl groups so that we will get a tertiary alcohol. When we reduce this alkene, it generates four carbons are there. Okay. Then when we treat this fellow with carbon monoxide at 70 atmospheres, remember in the previous case when I told you that if we don't use high temperatures, two alkyl groups will migrate. So it depends on the sterical crowding here. Okay, here also we are not using any high temperatures, so we do expect two alkyl groups to migrate. No, in this case it is not possible because these two alkyl groups are sterically crowded. They will not undergo migration at normal conditions. They will undergo migration only at high temperatures. So if we don't use high temperatures in case of 9-bbn, only one alkyl group will undergo migration. So this alkyl group will be shifted. Only this alkyl group will be shifted. So what we will get is a C double bond O because we are shifting only one alkyl group. We are shifting only one alkyl group. Now, how do we explore this compound? We explore this compound in different ways. Okay, when we oxidize it, it will give a carboxylic acid. We can also do it reduction. We can also do reduction when we use lithium trimethoxy aluminum hydride, trimethoxy aluminum hydride. So this carbonyl will undergo reduction. So it generates an alcohol. It generates an alcohol. So when this carbonyl is reduced with trimethoxy aluminum hydride, this will undergo reduction to give alcohol. Now this alcohol can be explored in two different ways, right? One, if we use acetic acid, it becomes alcohol because boron will be leaving, we will be adding hydrogen. When we use oxidation conditions, then what happens? We are adding one more OH here. So two hydroxy groups on a single carbon, so which is not possible, which is unstable. So it generates a carbonyl. Because it is a terminal carbon, we are generating an aldehyde. So this is how we can explore 9-bbn products. Please understand these variations very clearly. Okay, you can repeat the class in YouTube also. So when we add carbon monoxide, because 9-bbn is highly sterically crowded, only other alkyl group which is from alkene, that only undergoes migration. If we use high temperatures, then the 9-bbn carbons, both alkyl groups will undergo migration. But if we don't use high temperatures, these two alkyl groups will not undergo migration. Only a less sterically crowded alkyl group will undergo migration. Then this carbonyl we can explore in different ways. Okay, if we use oxidation here itself, we will be generating an carboxylic acid, but I did not get any such examples, so that is why I'm not writing the product. Okay, I did not get any such examples here. But if you oxidize it, we should get carboxylic acid. If we reduce this carbonyl, we will be getting alcohol. So this compound, when we treat with acetic acid, we will generate a hydrogen in place of boron, so alcohol will be there. If we do oxidation on this, then we will get one more OH in place of boron. We will get one more OH in place of boron. So dihydroxy on a single carbon, which is unstable. So with loss of water molecule, it generates a carbonyl. Because it is a terminal carbonyl, it is aldehyde. Even here, we don't need to use acetic acid also. Simple water and in THF. So this also can do this. Okay. Simple addition of water will also do this. Not only acid. Okay, we don't need to add acid also. Just addition of water can do this transformation. So I'll post two such examples in the group. Okay, you practice them. I'll post two more examples in the group. You practice them. And I'll give one more example for today. Please take a snapshot. I think we are having less than 1 minute time. What is the product? Okay. Other two problems will be posted in our group. We have two more examples for this. I'll post them in the group. Please take a snapshot. I think we are having only less than 1 minute time.